This is the other semi-final battle in the Wolf Birthday Bash. I'm going to call it the Birthday Bash, but it's really the Birthday Flash, because the Wolf clan, had its birthday, so they organized a birthday tournament. This is Orgetorix of Agartha, commanding the Ostrogoths, and Emperor Constantine the First of Agartha, commanding the Western Romans. So, Western Romans, a very interesting choice here against the Ostrogoths, and a very peculiar build as well. I have to say, this is this is stuff you don't see very often, because for the Romans, let's just go over the build first. For the Romans, we have a total of 5 Equites Promoti, 1 Magister Militum General. Then we have Mattiari. We have a total of, let's see, we have 2 Mattiari, I believe, 1 Noble Federati Javelins. We have 6 Armigeri upgraded. Then we have 1 Elite Ballistari, 4 Funditoris up front. This is something you see quite a lot of now. Slingers, they are good for controlling cavalry and doing a lot of damage quickly. Ideally, you want your slingers to be as cheap as possible. So Nordic slingers are very good for that. And that's basically the Roman build. It's a very peculiar build. It has the potential to do a lot of damage quickly against cavalry with these flanks of Promoti and javelins. Slingers could potentially work, but they do have their work cut out for them. Here we have Germanic archers, the ranged advantage. We have 2 slingers, Germanic hurlers. Then we have 1 Germanic spear. We have a center of 2 Gothic Palatina defectors on the flanks, Thracian Oathsworn, Gothic Palatina defectors, Gothic Folks. Then we have Noble Germanic, Germanic Lancers, and Noble Germanic, together with Royal Seones. So a bit of a strange Ostrogothic build this, in my opinion, coming up against the Western Romans. The Western and the Western Romans, a very peculiar choice also against the Ostrogoths. Now, what the Romans have going for them is staying power, decent armor, decent health, cheap melee units, but this Equite Promoti cavalry is not very durable. Only 217 health, only medium, and it will struggle when charged by shock cavalry, and will struggle when charged by heavy melee cavalry. So I'm quite curious to see how the Romans are going to be able to crack the Ostrogothic nut, so to speak. And the Funditores are taking fire from Germanic archers. Funditores, not really a priority target for Germanic archers. Germanic hurlers firing here on the Funditores. Precision shot being used by the Germanic archers. This Germanic spear being used in very reckless fashion. But it's running back again, so it doesn't get charged by the Armigeri Defensores. It could eat a lot of javelin fire into the rear now. Nice and slow opening to the battle, both sides having skirmishers. They want to trade skirmish fire for a while. Germanic hurlers and Funditores about evenly matched. Here we have the Gothic Palatina defectors. Should do well against Armigeri Defensores, but they need to be very careful here, because Gothic Palatina defectors do not have a good missile block chance. And a nice throw there by their precursors. Very nicely done here using the Gothic Palatina. But you can see they are starting to drop fairly quickly from Funditore fire. So this is not a good exchange for the Gothic Palatina defectors. Very peculiar battle. And there's always, when you have clan members fighting each other, there's always the question of, are these players really playing their best with their best builds? It's always a question. These Germanic spears, though, are getting into an awful lot of units here, but the question is how long they're going to be able to survive. Charge straight up the center by Equites Promoti, very fast. It looks like they're going to be able to catch 2 units of Gothic Palatina here, and that was a very nice charge there by the Equites Promoti. Even though they're only medium, you can see their kills here increasing. The Germanic Lancers got into the Promoti. The Promoti should be dead.
The men are broken and running for their lives.
Let's see how the Equites Promoti do against Germanic Lancers, if they indeed charge them. Yeah, the Equites Promoti do get some damage done with their precursors. And yeah, the Germanic Lancers are taking a beating. I'm not sure who got the best charge there, but the Equites Promoti are supporting here and doing damage to their own units. Heavy Noble Germanics rushing in, but it looks like they sort of get the charge, but quite a few of the units get stopped here. So they didn't get the best charge on the Equites Promoti. But so few infantry units for the Ostrogoths left. We have the Armigeri Defensores and the Mattiari here pouring the fire into the Royal Siones. Although they are very tanky, they could be in a dangerous situation here. Equites Promoti coming in and hitting the Gothic Palatina defectors. The Noble Germanic Horsemen surrounding the Equites Promoti. Over here though, no contest. The Ostrogoths just overpower the Equites Promoti. They do not have any staying power in these types of engagements. But if the Royal Sionis are in a super dangerous position here, they are getting hit by massive javelin fire. They can't really pull out of this engagement. They're going to lose too many men. And yeah, the Roman general is doing fine over here with his. He's using the Magister Militum is bracing against the Noble Germanics, and these Mattiaria are doing a lot of damage to the Noble Germanics. It seems quite a few of them are missing, but they are doing damage as well. And yeah, the Royal Siones are... yeah, he's dead. So morale could be a problem for the Ostrogoths at this point. Ostrogoths don't have the best morale. They still have the Noble Germanic Horse and the Gothic Palatina. Gothic Palatina and Noble Germanics have pretty nice morale, and so do Thracian Oathsworns. So this is the Romans don't have a whole lot left. The Equites Promoti are getting ground to pieces. The Elite Ballistari didn't get the kills they need. Over here we have Germanic archers should get killed by Mattiari. Mattiari have swords that they use in melee, so they do quite a bit of damage to Germanic archers. Over here though, it looks like yeah, the Roman general is fine and he could do a lot of damage. He's going to be charging into the Germanic archers now. They should just rout any second due to the general being dead and being charged by a cavalry unit like this. Yeah, they're off the field. So if these Roman units, if these Armigeri Defensores can hold for long enough, that the Magister Militum gets in a few rare charges, that could be it for the Ostrogoths. But it's the Noble Germanic Horse that gets in first and start doing the damage here. Could get surrounded here though by these units, which would be very bad for the Germanic Horse. The Magister Militum is free to run around here. And yep, he's going to get a good charge here on the Thracian Oathsworn. Yeah, that was a very nice charge, getting into both the Noble Germanics and the Thracian Oathsworn. Also pouring in these units, they are going to act as sponges in the fight, allowing the Magister Militum to stay alive for longer. But he's still losing quite a lot of men here to the Thracian Oathsworns. The Thracian Oathsworns are using rapid advance for some reason. And they're not going to be routing anytime soon, so... oh yeah, the Magister Militum pulling out there. This engagement though, some decent kills on the Armigeri, but they're up against Thracian Oathsworn and Gothic Palatina, so... it's only a matter of time before they die. Then we have Elite Ballistari coming in to support somewhere with a few shots. And a build like this this Western Roman build is going to be very, very difficult to use, because you require very good micro to use this type of build effectively, in my opinion. But it's very close here. These remaining skirmish units, this Elite Ballistari is going to be very dangerous at this point. Although only 37 men remaining in the unit, precision and flaming on a unit like these Thracian Oathsworns is going to do a lot of damage. Let's see here. Yeah, they're just disappearing. And then they're running away. But the Thracian Oathsworns just hit charge speed, So that might enable them to get in, but we have an attack order being given here by on Mattiori, so that the Mattiori could get in here and block the charge. Ooh, the Elite Ballistari stop. But since the Thracian Oath Sworns are exhausted, the Mattiori are actually going to be able to make it in here and kind of stop the Thracian Oath Sworns from making it into the Elite Ballistari. Not completely, though. So both of these units are going to start wavering. The Magister Militum needs to be careful here, because there are precursors left for these Thracian Oath Sworns. One charge could be enough, but the Thracian Oath Sworns got the charge. The Magister Militum just needs to keep riding here, because he's not going to be able to do well in an extended melee. Yeah, he just a bit too slow pulling out, and then he loses men instantly. And the Roman general is in a very dangerous position now. He could just die at this point to anything, really. So this is dangerous for the Romans. Wasted the crossbows, brought them a bit too close to the Thracian Oath Sworns. The Armigeri Defensores cannot fight the Thracian Oath Sworn. The Magister Militum really can't stay in this type of... He doesn't have enough men. He might just die from the next charge. So this is very close. The Armigeri are charging the Thracian Oath Sworns. The Thracian Oath Sworns are counter-charging. And look at the Armigeri just disappearing. If the Magister Militum manages to get enough kills here on the Thracian Oath Sworns before getting surrounded. But it looks like the Magister Militum is getting tied down. It looks like the exhausted Thracian Oath Sworns are going to be able to charge in. And the Roman general is so close to just dying now. It looks like the Thracian Oath Sworns could actually tough this out for the Romans. Charging out of the blob, and the Magister Militum is charging in. But these Thracian Oath Sworns, they just refuse to die. The Magister Militum needs to get out straight away. Just tap the unit and ride out straight away. It's such good luck that the Magister Militum hasn't died yet. This is a point in the game where the Magister Militum could have died several, like 20 men ago. But it looks like the final charge on the Thracian Oath Sworn balance of power is going to bring their morale down enough that they shatter. Pyrrhic victory for the Western Romans, and that became much more intense than I expected it to. So, yeah, the Thracian Oath Sworns did an amazing job, but maybe Constantine, maybe Orgetorix. I don't quite know what the idea was with this build from Orgetorix, because he went fairly cheap and fairly light on the cavalry. Like, he didn't have that one-punch cavalry stopping power, and the infantry support, I think, could have been a lot stronger, a lot better. Nice bringing these skirmishers for the Western Romans. I think you kind of have to. When there's max 6 cavalry, you either have to spam infantry or bring a mix, and this mix isn't something that I personally would have brought. Can be effective, absolutely, but it was a super close battle. So good game to Emperor Constantine and Orgetorix. Emperor Constantine, fittingly enough, advances with the Western Roman Empire. Strength and honor, and happy birthday to Wolf.